What is up? I am so pumped to be back with you guys again. Ah, man. Oh, look at all the comments. I'm just going to read real quick. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Youth Group Live. Hey, real quick, what I want you to do is I want you to copy the URL. I want you to send this to your friends, share it with your friends, those who you know are sitting at home and aren't doing anything. Send it to them. Let's get a bunch of people in here for youth group tonight. I know all of us are spread out, but we're all right here together tonight. So share it with your friends, share it with your group, even if they're on here. Just like message them a whole bunch of times and send it to them. I just want to say welcome. How are you guys holding up? Doing all right? You know, this whole quarantine thing? Have you just gotten so frustrated with your siblings yet? No? Nobody's killed their siblings yet? That's probably good, right? My dog Jax is very confused by this whole quarantine thing. We take him on walks a lot, and I think he asks us, like, what even is a corona anymore? Like, he is so, like, he's like, man, I've gone on so many walks, he just goes and hides. You know, he's a good dog. But, hey, we are happy for tonight that we are here. What I want you to do is I want you, like I see all the comments going right now, comment below. If you don't have a YouTube account, that's okay. If your parents say, you know what, we don't want you to have one, that's okay. But I would encourage you to get a YouTube account so that you can jump in the chat. It's kind of how we're going to play our game tonight too, is inside the chat. So you can make one, or you can just log in, and we'll do that way. So hey, real quick, if you've got stuff going on, feel free to message me. I would love to interact with you. we're messaging or on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is. So send me a message. I can't promise you that I'll get back right away. You know, there's a lot going on, and I take some days off during the week. Fridays and Saturdays I kind of am off. And so, but I'll get back to you, I promise, okay? But just send me a message. So, hey, well, we are going to jump in tonight, looking at the chats. This is what we're going to do. We are going to play a game, and I want you, now, most of this is going to be on the honor system, okay? But what I want you to do is I want you to think about all the things that you have done during the quarantine that you normally maybe wouldn't do, okay? And yeah, I know it's not quarantine, quote unquote, it's a stay-at-home order, I get that. But what I want you to do is we're going to play the first to 10. So, I'm going to have a randomizer on the screen. What the screen is going to do is blurt out different things. Maybe it says clean your room, maybe it says try new food, whatever the case may be. What I want you to do is put in the comment section if you have 1 or 2 or whatever it is. So, first 1 to 10 wins. We're going to see who gets to all 10 in the comment section. This is a total honor game. Okay, you can't cheat. Speaking of which, last week's winners for the game Kahoot. First place was Micah, did pretty well. Second place was Matthew Brown. And then third place was Evie Buchanan. So those 3, you guys should be getting your gift cards soon, if not in the next couple of days. Well, but tonight's game is first to 10, so jump in there. When I roll what it's going to be, I want you to comment. I've done that. I've got 1, I've got 5. First 1 to 10 wins. So let's jump into the game. All right, here we go. So it's completely random. It's got about 40 different things that you might have done. You might have done. Played a child's game out of boredom. Anybody pulled out Candyland or Chutes and Ladders because you're just so pent up? Anybody? If you've done that, you've got 1 point. Okay? And name the game that you've done, by the way, if you've done this. Okay? Played a child's game. Next one. Here we go. First 1 to 10. And you have to do these. You have to do these, all right? During quarantine, anybody rode over 50 miles in a vehicle? Anybody gone any trips? I hope not. You're supposed to stay home, so just saying, this shouldn't be a number that you get. Oh, Brett, what'd you play? I want to know. And Xander played it too. Ticket to Ride's not a... No, Ticket to Ride doesn't count. Here we go. Anybody taking a nap? Or are you sleeping in so much that you're not tired enough to take a nap? I've definitely taken a nap. Also, for the game's sake, we are counting it for the last 2 weeks since we did our first youth group live. That is our window of this quarantine that we're in. So, the last 2 weeks since we haven't been here, okay? So, next one. Let's see how many you got. Uno, Crazy Ace, that's a good one. Here we go. Eaten a completely unhealthy meal. Guilty. Yeah, I won't name what it was, but I was like, it wasn't really that healthy, you know, but it was in the air fryer, so I think it would be all right. You know, it's a healthy-ish thing. Anybody had an unhealthy meal? What's the most unhealthy thing you've eaten since you started? Again, first 1 to 10. Here we go. Name the stuff. Created a meme. Anybody create a meme? If you created a meme, send it to me because you know I love memes. So if you've created a meme during this time, send it to me. I would love to see your meme. Okay, here we go. First 1 to 10. Not done any homework. Not done any homework. Okay, I would hope that you've all done your homework. Some of these, I hope you don't put your finger up for, okay? Not done any homework. Well, Depends on how you clarify homework. If you clarify homework as in all things that you've done at home as homework, then maybe that doesn't count. But if you've done like, this is my school time and anything after 4 p.m. was homework, maybe. I'll let you decide, okay? Again, if you're just joining us, you're like, what is going on? We're playing 1st to 10 Quarantine Edition. If you've done any of these things, you have a number and you can type it down in the chat. First 1 to 10 wins. I want to hear about some of these things that you've done. For example, that we talked about unhealthy meals and whatnot. So type them down in there. But if you've not done any homework, I hope you have. Here we go. 1st to 10. Sent a card or note in the mail. Anybody using the mail? No? Anybody send a card? Look, I'm gonna give you a pro tip right now from Pastor Al. It would really mean a lot if you got a card and sent it to a family member. Okay, ask your parents or your guardians, whoever you're with, to say, hey, I want to write a letter or a note and send it to your grandparents or maybe somebody in the church. This would be a huge one if you haven't done this so far. But I am impressed if you have. So send a card or note by the mail. Next one, here we go. Been to church online as a family. Sunday, I'm gonna say Sunday mornings, all right? Because this is church, I get that, but I'm gonna say Sunday mornings. Also, if you're with a family, that's pretty cool too. Hi, parents. Hi, mom. Hi, dad. Been to church online as a family. Okay, we offer our churches. If you haven't done anything online for Sunday mornings, we offer church at 8:30 or 10:45 on our website, efcbemidji.org. You can just type that in and find that. And we have live services just for you and your family. Okay? There's another one. Here we go. 1st to 10. 1st to 10. Have fixed technology for a parent. Wow. I hope most of you have your fingers up for this one because I feel like, well, maybe your parents are pretty tech savvy, but like my parents, I hope they're not watching, but I don't know if they're totally tech savvy. Fixed technology for your parents, okay? And if you're a leader and you fix technology for your parents, that's probably an easy one. But if you have fixed technology, what is the most basic thing that you have fixed? Put it in the comments below. In the live stream. Here we go, 1st to 10. Where are we at? Somebody's at 4, somebody's at 5 already. Maybe 6. Hidden from somebody. Ooh. Parents. Hidden from parents. Hidden from other siblings. It's actually warm outside, so you can go and knock to your house. Okay. Hidden from somebody. Anybody hide from somebody? Here we go. Nope, we already had that one. Ooh, talk to a relative on the phone. Now, this is one step up, and this is an easier one than the mail, okay? So, if you talk to anybody on the phone, if you haven't, I would encourage you to do so. During this time, everybody is isolated. We want to be as connected as possible. So, talk to a relative on the phone, okay? Who have you talked to? Okay? Who have you talked to? Here we go. Again, 1st to 10. Oh, we got 7. Gigi's at 7. Checking the scores real quick. Max at 6. Anybody else at 7? Max at 7. Mira's at 6. Nathan's at 3. Brett's at 5. Ooh. Okay. Getting there, getting there. Spent 5 consecutive waking hours in your bedroom. That's almost unheard of. I mean, unless you have your desk in there. But spent 5 consecutive waking hours in your bedroom. Man, well, my Xbox is in my bedroom, so that would be easy for me. Spent 5 consecutive waking hours in your bedroom. Okay, here we go. A couple more. Nope, had that one already. There's going to be some retweets as we continue. Ooh, watched a children's show. Anybody have younger kids and younger siblings and you're like, oh man, I totally have to watch that show with them? What is the show that you watched? I want to know. I want to know what theme song is stuck in your head. That's the real thing. Okay. Again, if you're just joining us or if you just joined us lately, we're playing first to 10. I have a randomizer. If you've done this, you get a point. First to 10 wins. Put it in the comments what you have and what you've done. We love the points are great, but what you've done is the funnier thing. What show have you done? Okay? What show have you done or watched with your... I'm going to say this. If you watched it by yourself, this counts. If you watched it with a younger sibling, it doesn't count. How does that count? Huh? Yeah, so you've watched a kid's show without a younger sibling, okay? Next. And SpongeBob doesn't count. It's an adult show, because I watch it. Ooh, done all of your homework. Done all of your homework. I would have totally, like, if I was homeschooled, I would be totally slacker. I don't think my mom would let me get away with being a slacker. But done all of your homework. Okay, what are we at? What are some of the scores here? Is this a kid's show? Okay, Mark. I see how it is. Thanks a lot. Next. We'll keep going. If you get 10, great. Let's see. No, this is bad. No. It says been to an outdoor area, i.e. park. You're not supposed to go to parks. This was written before the state. No, that one doesn't count. Don't go to parks. You can go outside, but you can't go to parks. Germ factor. Here we go. Yes. Watched Sports Center talk about the lack of sports. Anybody just missing sports right now? There's no NHL, there's no MLB, there's no NBA. Like, there's no sports. Like, people are watching reruns from like the 70s because there's no sports. But have you watched Sports Center on ESPN talk about the lack of sports? Like, I watched one that they were like, they were commenting on a marble race, right? Ugh. It's pretty bad that there's no sports. No March Madness, no nothing. Okay? Here we go, a couple more. What are we at here? Check the scores. Rachel's at 9. We got 7 for Brett. Becca's at 6. Ben and Chris are at 8. Here we go. Oh, this one. Started and completed a video game. Have you played a video game, story mode, from start to finish inside the last 2 weeks? If you have, I want to see what it is. I'm planning on playing through Halo with my friend in Colorado. He's one of my best friends growing up, and we're excited. We're gonna play through Halo during this time and to kind of connect. If you want to play Halo with me, let me know. So, started and completed in a video game within the last 2 weeks. Couple more. Rachel and Ben are at 10. Oh, nice. Nice. All right, let's get some more. Congratulations, Rachel and Ben. I don't see anybody else at 10. Xander's at 8. Brett's at 8. Ooh, planned a family vacation. Anybody planned a family vacation? Okay, we've got one planned for hopefully, fingers crossed, the end of August. We're very excited about that. Let me know where you're going. If you've planned a family vacation, if your family is just dreaming of going somewhere, getting out of the house, let me know what it is. Gigi's at 10. Nice. Nice. Okay, we'll do one more. How about that? Last one. This one counts for 5. Gigi's going to the California coast, road trip. Okay, are you driving? Ooh, taking a virtual tour. We'll end with this one. If you didn't know, a lot of the museums from all over the world are giving free, I think they're free, virtual tours of their museums. So you can go and view the different things. Like there's a lot of ones in France and in New York and a bunch of other museums that have free virtual tours, I think. Or you have to pay for them a little bit. You have to pay for them, whatever. Well, it would be cheaper than flying there. So, hey, that's about it. Congratulations, Ben and Rachel. Or I guess Ben is the only one at 10. Anybody else at 10? Gigi's at 10. Becca's at 7. Anybody else at 10? Oh, Leah going to Georgia. Nice. The Forks. Is that Grand Forks? California. Where else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Where have you been going? What are some things? What is the craziest thing that you have done since the stay-in-place order started? So the last 2 weeks. I want to see the craziest thing. If you didn't mention it here, what is the craziest thing that you've done? Mac is at 13. Mac is just a wizard. That's what I'm saying. Mac is totally a wizard. My sister is asking me where I'm going. I am planning on going to Glacier out in Montana. It's going to be pretty fun. So, hey, thanks for playing again. If you're just joining us, we just finished up our game. Welcome to Youth Group Live. We're so glad that you have joined us. Hey, next week or the week after, we're going to be doing some questions. In the description of this video down below is a Google form. You can click on that and that'll bring you to a form page. And that's, I should have done it last week, but I didn't. But that's where you can ask me questions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to those questions next week. So if you have questions, put those questions down in that Google form. You can do that now or you can do that later as well. Let me ask you a question. Has anybody felt like this whole thing, this whole COVID-19 coronavirus is overblown? Ever felt like the media is just saying it's just, I don't know, I don't really know if it's totally all that bad. Why can't we just go back to school? Anybody feeling that way, asking those questions? They're definitely questions that go through my head sometimes. But then on the other side of my head pops questions. You ask yourself, what is going on? This world, we haven't seen this for 100 years. Nobody has recognized or has remembered a pandemic like this. Why is there so much? Why, are we going to be okay? Have you ever asked that question? Man, I'm kind of nervous about this thing. You ever had the fear and anxiety kind of run through you? Or here's a greater question. Why would God, the creator of the universe, who loves us so much, why would he let this happen to the world? Have you asked yourself that question? It's a big, huge question. Here's the thing. I want to encourage you guys that it's normal to have questions and emotions about what's going on right now. It's totally okay and normal to have those questions. Questions about COVID-19, questions about the economy, all this kind of stuff. It's okay to have some emotions behind it. It's a stressful time. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of things going on. But, like most things, it's a pendulum. It swings back and forth. And what I want to encourage us is just take a step back and look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. See, we need to be listening to the CDC. We need to be listening to the health officials, the governor, the president. We need to be following the guidelines that they've been putting out. And we also need to be trusting the God of the universe, who, to be fair, put those people in that place in the first place. we need to see kind of both sides. So this is what I want to do tonight, okay, for our little Devo. I want to answer a very important question. Very important, yet very big and deep, and I won't be able to cover it all, but I'm going to ask it anyways. The question is this: why is God letting this happen? Why is God letting this happen? COVID-19 is all over the world. It's infecting so many people, it's pretty scary. And it begs the question, is it God's fault? So what I want to do is I want to step back and I want to talk about three main important things that we need to remember during this time. We need to remember as we think about this question, why is God letting this happen? The first thing I want to tell you is God is sovereign. God is completely sovereign. If you don't know what sovereign means, if you've ever heard of the word sovereign before, it means God has the ultimate authority. He has all the power in the world. He's all-knowing and all-powerful. Jesus is not surprised by COVID-19. And in fact, before creation, Jesus knew that this would take place. He knows everything. He knows what's going to happen. We've talked about free will before. He knows what I'm going to do and not going to do. In the book of Job, at the end, now if you know me, I love Job, okay? Job makes a proclamation that we need to remind ourselves of. In Job 42:2, he says this: I know that you can do all things. He's talking about God here. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. I know that you can do all things. We need to have this grounded in our hearts. God is in charge. He is sovereign, all-powerful, all-knowing, period. But does that mean that He makes everything happen? Does that mean that He makes me do what I am supposed to do? Does He make the earthquakes and the natural disasters happen? Does God make the fires in California or the tsunamis in the Pacific? Does God make all this stuff happen? Did He make diseases? Does He allow diseases to spread like COVID-19? Did He create them in the first place? It's kind of a big question to think through, and we don't really have time to fully look at it tonight, but what I want to do is I want to point you to a Bible story where in one small little Bible story, everything changes. One little tiny Bible story, everything changes. So here's the thing. Genesis chapter 3, when Adam and Eve are in the garden, when God is just finishing up creation, He just created all this cool stuff, and He ends creation with an exclamation point of two people being made in His image, male and female, Adam and Eve. He puts them in the garden and He says, this is for you. All of creation is for you. Be fruitful, multiply, work the garden. Eat from the tree of life, and don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And you know this story. I don't have to repeat it, but I'm going to anyways. Adam and Eve go to the fruit, to the tree, and the serpent's like, did God really say if you ate the fruit, you would die? And Adam and Eve, in that moment, have a choice. They had a choice to obey what God said or disobey what God said. And they disobeyed. And sin entered the world. See, death and corruption are due to sin. Death and corruption are due to sin. Because of Adam and Eve's sin, creation changed. From that moment on, creation changed forever. Here's the thing. It's not COVID-19 that this world is fighting. It's sin. It's my sin. It's your sin. It's our sin as humanity. Sin is what causes so much pain and death. Now, I'm not saying if you sin you'll get COVID-19. I'm not saying if you sin you'll get cancer and all this other stuff. I'm not saying that. Nor am I saying if you don't sin you won't get those things. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that this world is fragile and corrupted because of sin. Because of Adam and Eve. Because of the choices that they make and the choices that you and I make. Romans 5:12 puts it this way. Paul says this, therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man, mankind, Adam and Eve, and death through sin, and in this way death came to all people, because all sinned. Now, I'm going through the book of Romans right now in my Devos, and I got to be honest with you, there's a lot more in the book of Romans, and I would encourage you to read that right now through your Devos if you're not doing anything. But just as sin entered the world through one man, and death through sin, death entered the world through sin. In this way, death came to all people because all have sinned. Paul goes on later on, he says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Sin is deadly. It's totally deadly. It's been deadly ever since Adam and Eve chose to disobey God. But there's some good news. There is some good news. See, God could have just let it go. God could have just made the world and then just put it on its axle like a basketball and spun it and said, all right, there you go. Day 7, I'm done. I'm not doing anything anymore. He could have done that. He could have said, well, you messed up, and now that you've messed up, you have to live with the consequences. But he didn't. He didn't say that. And in fact, in our rebellion and in our sin, God sent his Son to take the place of God's wrath for you and me. See, sin demands judgment. It demands wrath. And Jesus took that judgment for us. If we believe him and trust him, we will be saved. Guys, I've talked about this week after week and month after month, and now I can say year after year. And Jesus says if we believe in him and follow him, we will be born again. Defeating death because Jesus first defeated death. We will be born again because of Jesus. That's why Galatians 2:20 is so important. That's why I've been harping on it all year. It says this, I have been crucified with Christ. I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. This is the gospel. This is the good news of our world. We have hope in this dark time. We have eternal life waiting for us if we believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins and rose again 3 days later. And if we confess with our mouth that he is Lord. Lord of all. Completely and utterly sovereign. What does that mean for us now? What does it mean for us living in this pandemic in 2020? How does all this fit into our daily lives right now? This whole COVID-19. Is it God's fault? Did God allow this to happen? No. It's due to sin. What do we do now, though? Well, we wash our hands, we social distance, and we stay at home, and we don't go to school, and don't go to parks, and follow all the other CDC guidelines. But we also trust in the God that loved us so much, that in our depravity, in our sin, he reached down and he sent his Son for you and for me. Next week, we're going to look at the here and now. We're going to look at what we should be doing now that we have accepted Jesus and we're hoping in Jesus and trusting in Jesus. But what does that mean now? How are we dealing with dark times now? But until then, until next week, I hope this verse fills you up. It's the most famous verse in the Bible, and I think it's prevalent now just as ever. John 3:16. You can say it with me. Now where I have it on the screen. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. I'm praying for you guys. I hope you have a great week when you pray. God, thank you for tonight. Thank you for Youth Group Live. Thank you for the technology that we have to do this. I pray that you would just be with these students as they continue working hard in their studies and keep them safe, Lord. In Jesus' name. See you guys. We'll see you next week, 6:30. Send your questions in the forum down below. Bye, guys.